The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Be not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will.
Got to say hello, everybody. We're getting it together, putting our headphones on so we can hear.
I can hear.
I can hear, too. What about you, sister? Can you hear?
I can hear.
All right.
Can they hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to Conversation with Faye Lewis and Second Call. We're excited, a new show,
Amen.
Something we're bringing to you that you really will enjoy. We thank you for tuning in. My co-host today is Skip, and I know everyone knows Skip, but in case you don't, Skip Townsend, and we have Marcy Lyons. So this is going to be our show, but we're going to have many guests. We have so much more to tell you. I'm Sister Faye, and I'm here to give you all so much. Make your day spiritually and naturally. Skip, tell us why you're here.
I'm here because you asked me to be here, and you've been planning and praying on this for. I just heard earlier it was 11 years. I was thinking it was like 8 or 9, but it's been 11 years. So
Amen.
I am here because I'm obedient to God.
That's right.
I do what God asked me to do, and God freed up my Wednesdays.
Ooh, all the time.
So,
yes, mine too. Praise God.
I have a free time during this week. So
won't he do it?
Won't he do it all the time?
All
too,
the
right?
time. Yes, he will.
All right. And I'm going to say this real quick before I let Marcy say a thing or two to you all. I had this vision like 11 years ago, and I always said, and I'm still saying it because we're a study going to grow, but God has given me a vision to be the next big talk show host. So they say speak those things as though they are, and I'm speaking into existence. But also, right. I believe in connecting the dots.
Yes.
Have you ever met someone and wondered why you had to meet them in order to get the next stage or the next level? I had to meet this person. So I believe in connecting the dots to get to our goals.
Yes,
and I want to make sure they say when you're climbing up the ladder that I'm climbing up the right wall and not the wrong wall. Get all the way up there like this one done right. But Marcy, take the floor.
Well, I'm here to discuss life and the community and all the things that is going on today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We have issues that we need to talk about, and I think this is a great time and place to let everything out and to let everything in, and we need to do some work. So we all need work, and we all here because we all have a story to tell. And I have a testimony as well as all of you guys. And I know that somebody out there needs to talk about something. So let's get started.
Let's get this party started. Yes, I'm very much excited. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about what our mission is. Our mission is to connect with the community. We're also partnered with, tell us the different companies we're partnered with, Skip.
As far as the community, well, with Second Call and, of course, everything that we do in the community, but also the Southern California Ceasefire Committee and everything that they're doing in the community. And really, to be honest with you, between the three of us, we are connected to all of South L.A., Compton, Watson, Inglewood. So if you have any, as Marcy said, if you got any issues, I want to give you a number. How about we do that? Can we give out a number? The number is 323-293-3375. Now, some people are going to say I said that real fast, but I don't think I did.
323-293-3375. MorrisMediaLine.com.
Live. That's live. Not a line. That's a live.
Live. Morris Media
We are live.
We are definitely
We are
live
live.
here on Morris Media. And when we say Morris Media, we got to say, hi, Felicia.
Hey, Felicia.
Felicia.
Thank you, Felicia.
Blessed she is.
And you know, one thing, I met Skip about 11 years ago. And, oh, yes, important. We're definitely going to have guests talking about mothers with murdered children.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I met Skip. My only son was murdered in 2006. And then I had a grandson that wanted to go to the streets and to the gangs. So those two reasons, a man at my church, Brother Thomas.
James Thomas.
James Thomas, yes. A shout out to James. Look
Shout
at
out to James,
11
John,
years
the whole
ago.
Thomas family. I love them all.
Right.
Yes. And we met at a church function where they had this big organization. Skip was bringing all people from Muslim to every race, religion. We came together one Saturday to talk about the role that the church plays in the community. Mm-hmm. And I was introduced to Skip. And when we went to second call, him and
That's a brain freeze.
Kenny, and Kenny started it. But there's more details we'll give you about second call. But when we started, it was only like 5 of us at a table. And we faithfully came every Thursday. We look forward to seeing each other on Thursday. We laughed, we cried together. And it was two of my grandsons. And the Lord blessed to where the group has grown. Second call is called the Wolf Pack. Mm-hmm. And there's so many in there now till you don't even have sitting room when you get there on Thursday nights from 6 to 8. And Skip, give us the address.
That's at the Abundant Life Church. That's 3500 South Normandy. That's right at the corner. It's the southeast corner of 35th Street in Normandy. And I just want to, can I give a shout out to John Tunstall, the pastor there,
right.
because he has allowed us to be there.
Yes,
and I think over the last 10 years that we've been there, we probably done got together about maybe $400 or $500 to give him. And that's not a lot, to think about it. So, I just want to say thank him from the bottom of our heart.
We're going to have to do Appreciation Day for him.
We're going to have to do that.
But that's why his doors are still open. Because when you are a giver, you get blessed.
And in that, God's got to really bless him. We know God is that kind of God because this is not going to be all spiritual show, but I got to give him his props. One thing about the Lord, when he does something, he does it well.
Yes.
By that pastor opening his door for us, and we've been there years and we ain't had to pay him. You know how many blessings God has for him? Because we started with 5, now we have 60 or more men coming in from all walks of life.
Men and women.
Men and
all
women.
walks of life.
All walks of life. And their
life.
lives have been changed. So I have to give that glory to God because he has his plans. He has a walk for each of us, and everybody's walk is different.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, we come to, and his word says, every knee shall bow before it's over.
That's right.
But God woke some people up when we were, what Skip call it, when they ask you how you feel, what do you say?
Well, it's a feeling, so I tell them I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm not dead or in jail.
Right.
I'm alive and well.
And you're not walking dead.
I'm not. Yes, and that's
Praise
what people don't understand is that I used to be walking dead.
Yes.
I used to be spiritually dead.
Yes.
I was disconnected from everything that was positive. So I'm truly grateful that I'm in my right mind today. And you're absolutely right, Sister Faye. There's so many people who are alive now because that door was open.
Yes, they
so
are.
many people who might have made a bad decision, but because they had the ability to come in and actually answer that question, man, how you feeling today?
That's right.
And they get the opportunity to be honest and say, well, I'm not feeling good today.
That's right.
I didn't eat today. Something bad happened today.
That's right.
And now they're able to talk it out and be surrounded by people who they're in an emotionally safe environment to discuss how they feel. And that, I would like to take credit. You gave me and Kenny credit. I can't even give it to John. That's God. It's not me. It ain't Kenny. It's John. That's God.
Right.
God has provided this place, this opportunity. Say amen.
But we don't, amen. And we don't know until we know.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't see until we can see. We can't hear until we can hear. So we just don't praise God that
Yes,
we
indeed.
plant seeds. You know, when you plant seeds and you pray for somebody to come and water that seed, then you see the growth and you see the fruits of your labor. And it's just amazing what God is doing. And he ain't through yet. But it ain't going to get no better unless we do better.
Yes, and that's what we're here. We're here to encourage you, to bring you hope, and to give you resources. And like I said, I had one son that was murdered, and my only son, but I've been connected with so many people since that happened that's in the same boat with me. Some can get over it, some can't. Some people, they grieve different. So we're here to encourage you, and we're definitely going to have different days. We have our shows. We're going to have information where you will be able to get a career. If you have a felony, there is still hope.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to be talking with mothers with murdered children. We're going to even have a day where children are going to come in and express their selves, because it's in the evening. So we're going to have a few kids come in and talk about, and then we're going to have college students probably on one of their breaks. But we have so much to bring you, and I'm so happy that when you tune in, you were going to be so blessed when you see us, because the show is we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to.
I'm not going to cry.
You will. Something they say the same thing make you laugh, make you cry.
Right, so I'm just gonna stay laughing.
Okay, just laugh until you cry, brother. Just laugh until.
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like this to Felicia. I'm gonna say, "Hey, it's break time. And we gonna
cut the cord.
Yeah, we gonna play something now. Yeah, because what happens? I don't mean to cut you off, Sister Faye, but what has happened? Because I've done shows before, and the mothers come in and they get to talking about how they feel and what they go through when their child has been murdered. So I start thinking about pizza and popcorn. I try to think about other things, but in the reality of it all, that hurts.
It does.
It hurts.
It still hurts.
And there's vicarious trauma. It hurts me to be connected. Like, for example, I would have liked to have met you under different circumstances. So there are so many mothers who I've met, and the only reason I've met them is because the children were murdered. And I'm thinking to myself, why we couldn't have met at the store or at park? Yeah, why this connection? So I just want y'all to know. So let me know on those days, and I'm going to make sure John is here.
John is we're going to make him cry.
Yes, make John cry.
Yes, everybody need a good cry. It cleanses your soul. We need to cry when we happy and cry and just be grateful.
Yes.
You know, because it could be worse.
Yes. And we're going to bring you a show where we have in Second Call, there are men and women that came out of prison doing 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. They're working now, have a career. Some of them on the trains, working on the trains in our community, working on all the projects.
On the new stadium.
Yeah, the new stadium.
Woo-woo.
Because they say the next 10 years, anybody that wants to work in the next 10 years, there will be opportunities open, because that's how long it's going to take them to finish LA. They're going to have steady work. So we're going to give you all that information. We're going to give you information about when we meet at Second Call and what Second Call stands for. John will tell you. His saying is, we're here to save lives. They say they're putting the guns down and picking up the measuring tapes. And so that's what we're trying to save our community. And we speaking out loud for our community.
Amen.
You know, because there's so much work that needs to be done, and we are part of an organization that God has given each one of us a talent to give back. So I can't do it all. You see, the show is with Sister Faye and Second Call because I'm part of the Wolf Pack, so I would do nothing to hold them out. I love them. I look forward to Thursday. Now I'm going to look forward to Wednesday to make you smile and think about different things that's going on in your life, how to express it, anger management, how to handle it, how to know if you're having a conversation with someone and they you start seeing things sound different, get a little louder, communication breakdown. We're going to have all kind of, talks about different things. And Marcy has some twins, so we may even have a twin day, and they're making her be
3
the mother.
boys. Y'all pray for me, okay? Because I'm still in shock, and it's been 12 years later, and I'm still in shock. But we need support groups. We need, places that we could talk about things, places where we can be transparent and we can, dig down and get, when I always come to Second Call, when you take that time to really ask somebody how they're feeling today, and if it's an issue that needs to be addressed right then, we need to address that issue. It's so many lost souls and hopeless people out here that, need to talk to somebody. Wherever they sit, lay, or stand, somebody needs some support, and my mission, one of my missions is that through being in the community and working with men and women, predominantly women, But I have 3 boys, so I work with the boys too. I give the boys all my attention and resources. And, we need to provide those resources for these teens. We have nowhere for the teens to go. When they leave, the Boys and Girls Club and the YMCA, where do they go? From 15 to 19, we used to have a teen post.
Well, that's one thing we do have. We're going to give a lot of information.
Yes, we are, because that's one of my passions.
Organizations, they're on the other side of town, but I've heard good things about them. So we're going to have the names of those resources for mothers, single mothers, maybe, or you having trouble with a teenager transition as a young man.
Yes.
Definitely we're going to have that show. That's a real big need.
Yeah. Remember, this is just our introduction show.
Yes,
right?
yes. So we have so much to bring you. And any time that you're watching us, if we're here in the studio, make yourself welcome to pick up the phone and call us at 323-293-3375.
Yes, indeed. Sister Faye, when Marcy was just talking, I was thinking about there's another organization that want our kids too. And I just seen them a minute ago. They was on Slauson and Crenshaw on a horse. And they was on horses on Slauson and Crenshaw.
We saw them yesterday, Skip, at Sears and the Baldwin Crenshaw Mall.
Right, so they want our kids. They want our kids, and I'm just wondering indeed. And we have to talk about that because there are police officers who are in our city, that are in our communities, that really care for the community. They are some that really care, but then they have another group who are looking to make arrests. They're just looking to, make sure that they can, make an influence, an impact in the community. Right. And sometimes it's negative for us, the impact they make. So we got to be careful and mindful that, that we include every organization that's out there. That's right. Because, there's a thing called trauma. So if I've been traumatized so much by this group, this organization, it'll make me fearful of them. So we have to talk about ways also. How can we better communicate with law enforcement?
Definitely.
And actually bring in some law enforcement officials and have them to come in and talk about how can they help us create an open line of communication in the community so that our children can run to the horses and say, hey, this is great, as opposed to running from the horses like, man, that's the police.
That's right. Well, to protect and serve is what they, are supposed to live by, and that's what we're trying to do, is protect and serve our community. And so we need to bring that back alive. This is so necessary, and it's a
and we do have police officers that we know personally that we've had that are really concerned about our community. We have Black African American police officers that's lost their son, so they work
Stinson
with
Brown.
Stinson Brown. Shout out to Stinson Brown. Yes, and he worked
also
with
Darnell Davenport. His brother was killed on Florence and Crenshaw. Just last year. So so the officers. I mean, they're not exempt from this. Their family members are killed the same way ours are. Yes. So we have to all. And then you mentioned James Thomas. Do you know that he had 2 brothers murdered a year apart? Wow. He had his very youngest brother, his dad's youngest son, was murdered right here on Vernon and in front of Master Burgers last year, and the year prior to that, their older brother was killed on 8-9 and either John Street or Mary Street, hit in the head, and he lived for a couple of days and died in the hospital. Wow. So where James Thomas is helping save lives in the community, his brother John Thomas is the chief of USC Police Department, but they're not exempt from it.
No.
As much as you help the community, something can always happen. Yes. And, so we have to make sure that we have open lines of communication, not only with each other, but with law enforcement.
And along with that, just to be real quick, that is the community that we're still trying to, bring together. Unfortunately, we're going to be talking about the war against drugs in our community that has set us back tremendously, and we're still picking up the pieces from a lot of trauma, because that's what we're talking about, is trauma in our communities, in our households. People need to deal with that. We're going to talk about the war against drugs and what we're doing in the community to help our community. And am going to be receiving my cannabis license, and it's going to be a medicinal cannabis license. So I'm going to be able to treat and serve my community in that facet, so that, you know, we can have other resources as opposed to what's going on, and educate, you know.
And see, that's a conversation all by itself, because think about this. For so many years, so many people were sent to jail and sent to prison for selling cannabis. But cannabis actually has a healing component in it that helps heal lupus, cancer, and a number of other things. But it was criminalized because I believe that we were benefiting. And when I say we, I'm not talking about just people of color. I'm talking about black people in particular, because we benefited from it. But now that it's going to be legal, the major corporations are going to be the ones who benefit the most from it. And then some people still have this criminal record attached to their name for what they did when it wasn't criminalized.
Right. We're going to get into all of that, because I've been studying that for 3 years now, and I got the breakdown.
Good. She know all the medicine names.
Not to mention, we're going to fight those people for our people. We have to. We all going to fight for something. You know, it's a fight. We're going to die trying to fight for what but this is for our kids and grandkids and great grandkids. You know, we have to educate. We have to be straight. You know, I didn't go to college, you know, but we had street education, and we know how to teach that, you know. So I think we need to get out there and really teach the truth, so we're all going to be telling our truth.
You know, they have human trafficking. A lot of people don't know about that.
It's still going on right underneath us.
Hands. We have child abuse. We have a lot going on in our community. We have a lot of students graduated last semester I have a couple of nieces, Yale, and one is at a high prestigious college in Chicago. So we have some young women and young boys. Skip, didn't one of your daughters in college, right?
Yes, indeed. She texted me this morning trying to get back. She ran away. She was in so my daughter Kylan had got accepted to Columbia University in Chicago, and she convinced me in November around her birthday to let her come home for Thanksgiving, and I paid for her to come home. I was so proud of her, and I paid for her to come home, and then she ran away. I never went back. I want to choke her right here. I want to just grab her right there. But she texted me this morning and said she wants to go back and try it again. But
we're gonna be praying.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep her in prayer.
And the quicker we can do it, the quicker she's gonna get there.
Because and then I know for a fact when they go to college, you know, Cameron, my granddaughter, was in Lakeland University in Oklahoma, but she was homesick for the next month or two. I had to go spend the whole weekend with her. And so
mine is a senior.
Your son, yes.
He was depressed. We had to deal with that.
But then after she got through the first semester, second semester, third semester, she ended up in the third semester staying in her own apartment in Oklahoma. So, but they go through transition. But one thing I like, if they get a taste of it, they're going to realize I'd rather go to school because I have to work and to be out here. And, you know, especially if you start hanging around the people that's not trying to better themselves. Yes. And if you sit down and wake up and think, where did my dad come from? What did my dad have to go through, my mom or whoever? Then you want to be better than that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be hoping and keeping your daughter up in prayer and believe that God completely turn her mind around, put somebody in her pathway that she will be able to listen to. Sometimes they don't hear us, so somebody else will come along and tell them the same thing.
That kills me. I mean, I get phone calls from people in Australia, people all over the country ask me different things, and I'm just so willing, to give it. And the people the closest to me don't take my leadership or my. But
that's all right because.
But where were we?
No, the word says, "If you take care of mine, I'll take care of yours." So you taking care of him.
That's how that go then.
That's how that go. Right. Because when I moved out the city, make it real quick. When I moved out the city, a friend of mine's here, a mighty woman of God, a prophetess, Janice.
Yes, Janice.
Her granddaughter lived out there where I live, and she didn't have a car. And so they found out I live out there, and I didn't know my way around. And sometimes she wasn't doing anything, and I would go pick her up, and have her come to the house, help me set up different things. And then she would ride to L.A. to see her grandma. When I get ready to go back, she would ride with me. So I've thought of that. Let me bless her because my granddaughter's out of town.
Right.
So if I take care of yours, you're going to take care of mine.
That's it.
And someone come along and bless my granddaughter out of town. So it goes, the seeds you sow, you will reap.
That's
good
it.
or bad. So we're working on trying to sow the good seed.
That's right.
We did enough damage years ago. Now we're here to help straighten out some of this. Some of the stuff we didn't create, but we're going to help straighten it out.
Well, when you do know better, you do better. And
that's right.
That's what Second Call teaches us, too.
I'm so grateful for Skip and them because we've been around each other for a long time, and he even goes into the prisons. Tell us about that, Skip.
Well, it was 2012. I started going into the women's prison. I started going to CIW, California Institution for Women. And with that, I connected with a young man who had a program that was going in the Centinela Valley. It is hot and far driving to Centinela, so I couldn't do that every week. But since then, in the federal prison, there's a guy I grew up with who's in federal prison, and he's been asking me to come up there, and I met with the administrators, the education department up there. So I've been to Victorville, to the federal prison up there a couple times, and I was just on my email organizing to go September 7th. I'm going into Terminal Island for a quick, just a quick presentation that I'm going to do for the
life skills.
Inmates. But it's set up to be continuous. So that's what we're working on now, is a continuous. And also I was invited to, in Antelope Valley, their Camp Finner, which is, I want to say like a level 1 camp. The guys get a lot of freedom. They fight fires. And now that the fire season is over, we're going to be going in there as well.
It's still burning.
Yeah, they still burning, but it's supposed to be the end, and October is supposed to be the end.
Is it the end, y'all? We better start praying. Oh, Lord, it's the end.
Well, and some of these fire people been setting these fires here lately.
I was on the freeway today.
Now, you know
and
what?
I didn't get to hear, but I think it was one.
I wish they would they going to get it.
Yeah, they going to get it.
They going to get it.
And another thing, we're going to go for a break in a few minutes, but before we go, we want to make sure that you be able to call in. And if you don't get to see the show live, you'll be able to tune in to other social media stations and hear us. You can always go back if you don't have time to watch us live.
To the archives.
You can go back to the archives and pull up this date and time. But we're hoping to see you every week, and we're hoping that you get something out of what we're talking about, because we definitely have a message, and it's going to be for all ages. We're targeting all ages. We're not discriminating all colors, all religions, because these are things that we're going to talk about that's every nationality, every religion, every color, race, whatever, they deal with these issues.
Yes.
And so
issues.
we know in our community it's changing. Our community is around Crenshaw, all the way going east. They're changing. They're moving. A lot of people are being pushed out because of the rent increases. The Inglewood, people are being moved out of their homes, their apartments.
This
because
is going
the rent
on everywhere.
Is increasing so bad. So that means that when they push us people out, not even, I would just say my color, they just pushing everybody out, but we have another set of people that's coming in.
Yeah, it's the income bracket.
And so
that's what they changed.
Yeah.
So this wasn't designed just for black people. I mean, although it hit black people really hard, but it was designed, if you can't keep up, you need to move on.
Yeah.
So even they're talking about rebuilding redeveloping the Crenshaw Mall, and they're talking about it's going to be 900 new places to live there, and they're saying
I go to my neighborhood council meeting, and I'm supposed to be there tonight.
So they're talking about it's going to be anywhere from $2,700 to $3,200 for the rent or the mortgage.
It is. And every time I go to the meetings, our board members say, nobody sell their homes. If you know anybody, now these are the issues we need to come together. We need to be investing in our community. We're going to be talking about Nipsey Hussle and David Gross and their investment in the community that we need to be a part of. So these are topics that we need to get on, and we need to get on that train, before we be on the plane somewhere else, and that's going to be.
But we do know, Skip, because John was talking about that Crenshaw. They're going to redo this whole Crenshaw from Century
yeah,
all the way down. They're going to look like a waterfront apartments. They will look nothing like this because they do not want people riding from the airport passing through the hood. So they're going to change all of this up. Slauson, all that's, everything is going to be so beautiful. They say within 5 years.
Right.
And you know, they plan ahead. People plan ahead, and they had all this here.
These are 20-year projections.
Yeah.
These are these they thought of this long time ago.
See, we need to get some projections, y'all. Now we need to make some projections
That's
here
true.
at this round table. We can do it if we all come together. How we do the Million Man March. Come on now. Now, y'all know we done been around some people and some marches and some things and some, you know. And if everybody give $100, we could have been turned this around.
Yes.
Well,
okay.
Well,
we're doing it. We got to do it.
We doing the work because, like I said, me and Skip met 11 years, and when we started with 5 people.
Amen.
Well, that was the Thursday class was 5 people. Yeah.
Right.
So Tuesday we had started with about 12, and then we came down. It went to about 50 or 60, but it came down.
We used to go Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But still, this is great conversation. Something need to be done, and you know, and if they want us to leave, if they want us to move up out of here, that would make me want to stay more.
I know.
Make me want to, you know, I want to rebel. I want to grow my Jerry curl back. Give me a golf hat.
Let's go back.
And just stand on the corner and say, I'm not leaving.
Well, with this cannabis, we could do that, y'all. So let's get into it.
No, if I smoke cannabis, I will grow my Jerry curl back.
Oh, yeah. Well, you ain't got to smoke it. You could eat it in your spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we talking about. So you don't know what we in here drinking. You know, we got a little happy juice.
All right.
I got coffee.
I know. Me and
So
Skip
we're
got
going to
one.
go in for a break now,
All right.
and we'll be back with some more exciting news.
On Sister Faye and Second Call.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. We're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're taking your time out and sit and wonder, what are these people talking about? Well, we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to show you a lot, too. So now we're back. We're going to take you, turn it around just a little bit. So we're going to give you a little sample of different things that we're going to be talking about. And these are things that we talk about at Second Call on Thursday night from 6 to 8. And we're going to talk about the young men and women that are looking for new careers. And so we're going to, today, I just want to give you a sample of anger management. How many people have anger management problems? Mine don't come out but every now and then.
Everybody raise their hand.
I'm
We
much
praying.
better. I'm better than I used to be. I have self-control. So, and I've been told you don't have to address every issue. Okay, but I'm going to read a little to you, and then Skip's going to discuss some of the things that we're talking about in this. Anger management. We at Second Call believe that anger is an instinct response to threat and to the frustration of our goals or desires. We also believe that anger is a human emotion, and the expression of anger is a learned response which can also be unlearned. We believe that clear awareness of ourselves will lead to better management of our anger. We at Second Call believe that we are actually trace the progresses of event that leads to an anger or violent reaction. There are early warning signs that our anger is about to get out of control. Okay, this is the first thing that you know when your anger is getting out of control. Tell us about that, Skip.
Well, before I talk about that, that's communication breakdown, but something you said in that paragraph, and let me tell you, I normally charge $100 for this, but you just gave it to him for free. But you gave it to him for free, and it says that clear awareness of myself will lead to better management of anger. So I don't have to know the other person. I don't have to know the people who I'm angry with or who's angry with me.
Right.
I have to know me. I have to truly study me and know what my responses are going to be, what are my triggers, and some of the things that are going on. So a lot of people take anger management and they look into blame other people when the person I need to study is me. But number one is communication breakdown. So think about this. I'm talking to somebody and they raise their voice. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to raise my voice too? Somebody say something really goofy to me, right? Call me out my name or say something. That's communication breakdown. And what I'm supposed to do at that point is I'm supposed to stop it. Because if I don't stop it, then what's going to happen is I'm going to have a mental warning. And the mental warning is mentally something's going to happen to say, you know what, this is about to get out of hand. This is about to turn into something else. And when I had a mental warning, that's my second warning sign that can have me do something about it. But the third thing, the physical warning sign, is what a lot of people don't understand. The body is so protective that it's going to start shaking, fluttering. It's my heartbeat is going to increase. All these things are going to happen.
Stress.
The stress that my body's going to have is actually telling me, man, get away from this. Don't be here. But for the most part, that adrenaline rush, and at some point it becomes too late, and then there's an aggressive reaction by that person or by me or whatever, and it's too late. So I always say to people, that I used to live off 116th, and they got these railroad tracks right there by Gompers, down the street from Locke High School. And one day I was sitting at the railroad tracks, and the arm came down, and the light started flashing. And I was thinking, wow, I wonder what this is. Should I sit on the railroad tracks and see? you know, but I would only get one chance. Once time in my life would I ever get to sit on the railroad tracks to see why that arm came down. That one time. Because after that, I would never get the chance to do it again. So I pay attention to my warning signs. The railroad tracks give me a warning sign. The buses give me a warning sign. The loud horns, those are all warning signs.
That's right.
So why would I ignore a warning sign?
We've all ignored them.
No, you ignore. I ain't ignoring no more. I run.
I know we have to speak for self.
I run.
I know. I can learn from my mistakes. Well, we have.
I can learn from your mistakes too.
And I'll learn from yours.
Okay, so tell me your mistake. What happened to you?
Well,
What'd you do?
We've made quite a few mistakes. I've made
Look, see, she said we.
It's a long list. We'll give our testimony.
We talk about speaking in the eye.
I know.
So that was you.
Right. Well, one mistake is 2 mistakes. I just think that, we all get these signs and we all get, red flag warnings. And, if we take a deep breath, see, we're living in a time where, everybody's rushing, everybody's in a rush, everybody's moving fast, everybody has things going on. And we have to respect each other. We're at a time where, everybody has lost respect. People are just worried about self. So I think if we just, take the time to just know that people are going through things, and we're going through stuff. We're all going through stuff, and we need to be aware of that we're not by ourselves, and that, if we can help along the way, let's do that.
Do you know what an energy vampire is?
It sucks the life out of you.
Right. So
Yes.
think about this. Suppose there's an energy vampire that is constantly negative on me.
I know.
That is communication breakdown. There are warning signs that I don't need to be around this person.
Yes.
But what happens is, because that person is my son, that person is my mother,
Right.
that person might be my fiance and my
Neighbor.
wife, because this person is close to me,
Yes.
someone I'm emotionally attached to, I keep biting in and ignoring my warning
I
signs.
know.
And so for the most part, what happens is 80% of the women that I met that were in California Institute for Women who were in there for murder,
Yes.
80% of them had murdered someone they knew.
Yes.
And 56% had murdered their spouse, their lover, their husband.
Somebody
whoever.
close to you.
Very close. So
That's how close it is.
So that's where the anger management is so important, because I can get ready for the guy on the train or the bus, gonna step on my foot or say something, but that's not where my problem's gonna come from. It's gonna
know.
come from someone in my immediate
Immediate.
circle.
Right. Okay, and this next thing, so we know that communication breakdown, mental awareness, mental warning, physical warning, and aggressive reaction, because those are 4 things that we got to remember. Okay, we must look at the signs that our communication has suffered a breakdown long before we actually get angry. So to me, that's saying that if I'm having a conversation with you, before I get angry, you're saying something that I know that's not right, or this may trigger something in me for me to react. You might be talking loud. I'm already knowing, okay, now this don't sound like this finna go nowhere good. So where's my keys at? I left my something in the car.
Sometimes you
right
just
back.
got to exit.
You got to just exit.
Take off running.
Hey,
But
they say,
the trick-
choose your battles. That's when you choose your battle.
But the trick is, though, that I'm not going to let you know that. So as you're talking and I'm getting upset, I'm going to tell you what you're saying is important.
Right.
Hold on one second. I want to acknowledge the fact
Amen.
that you're talking
Change
to
your
me.
dialogue.
So
Yeah.
so hold on one second, because I really want to hear what you got to say. But I do need to go to my car to see if my keys are, and because I think I left my car running.
You better take that walk.
So I'm gonna take that walk and I'm gonna
Yeah.
the car skirt off. That's the
walk will
point.
save your
Because
life.
if I stop you in the middle of saying something, then it gets a louder argument.
Yeah.
If I say, well, I'm just gonna leave now, well, is she gonna leave too? I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave with you. So it has to be some finesse in here. Like,
That's
no,
right.
hold on.
And you know what I think
We
about
want to change
too?
that stereotype.
But you know what also I think about too is that when I'm talking to you, just say you're my man and I'm the wife, and I'm talking to you, and your response is not what I want to hear. So now I'm really blocking out what you're saying. And you may say something and I'm going to take it the wrong way. Now you blowing up and it's like you didn't even hear what I said.
Right.
Some people go in with the mind like, I already know what she going to say. She going to say this. Assumption. But you come in, I'm going to say, honey, how was your day? But you're ready to come back. And a lot of times that draws your energy is feeding off of that other person.
That's why I said an energy vampire.
The
That's
energy
it.
vampire,
We
right.
go.
Okay, so we must then understand our feelings of hurt or pain will continue to build during the communication and lead us to an aggressive reaction. At second call, we believe in convincing our thoughts, ideas, and plans effectively to eliminate any misunderstanding or debates. We will discuss other ways to express our feelings so we can be understood. If I know that once I start talking and I'm telling you about what you did, now I'm getting angry. Ain't nothing even happened. You're supposed to be telling me, what did I do to make you mad? And I'm talking about it. I get aggressive. I get angry, and then it seems like I'm going to get aggressive. You're supposed to watch that person you're talking to. If it's a friend, a relative, somebody you don't even know. You have to watch the the body language of that person.
That's why I like texting.
But it could be misinterpreted.
It could be
though.
I've
It
had
can
that.
be misinterpreted
Yes.
because there's no emotion.
There's no emotion.
There's
Right.
no emotion
That's
attached to
right.
that.
That's right, Skip.
So I can say, "What's up, dog?" in a text message, and you'd be like, "Why he call me a dog?"
Right.
But I might do it
And he
smiling.
was
like,
aggressive with it. Right.
Yes. Or even when your kids come to you and ask you, can they do something? Nowadays, the 14 and 15-year-olds, I had an encounter with one like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it didn't go the way he wanted it to go, and he got aggressive. He had a meltdown.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I started videoing like, what the? video it.
I got you on camera.
I got you on camera.
Just in case I have to lay you out.
Yeah, this is the reason why. But this is a 14-year-old. And I told this young boy, like, months, last semester, I told him, they sent a report home that he had called the teacher a bitch. So I had to explain to him, you're a black African young boy. I'm a woman, a black African American woman. You call a kid, call a woman that, that's a very degrading name, and women don't, that's one name women don't like to be called.
Women, people get stabbed in prison.
Right.
I know.
Behind that word.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, if I was a teacher and a kid called me that, they'd be taking me out to school in handcuffs. I told this young man this last year. This year, this 14-year-old, and I done raised kids, grandkids, friend kids, cousins, nieces. I ain't never had a kid call me a bitch. And I have a bad heart.
These are the times we're living in, though.
But it's so shocking
this is
that
what
I
we
couldn't.
need to change.
10 years ago, I would jump across the table at my kids.
I think we need to jump back across the table. I'm about jumping off tables on my kids now.
But the kids got the number. The kids got to the number to the guys on the horses, though, and they know them people on them horses will come get us if we start jumping over the table.
That's what we're gonna change it up.
But see, it's sad because
I haven't introduced my kids to the man on the horse yet.
But listen, no. Let me tell you, this is what the problem come in at. This is what the problem come in. I'm quite sure even our audience, the fiance, everyone's going to agree with this. When these kids nowadays, they get so out of hand and disrespectful, the parent want to call 911, but we like, am I going to take this abuse? Because they might kill my son.
Right.
But sometimes
or take them out the home.
Or take them because you don't, but you fear for your life, or you don't want to hurt this person, this child. So we have a lot of
work.
We have a lot of work to do. And a lot of these young boys are growing up with single parents that's working 24/7. They just making it to provide for the kid.
Yeah.
So the kids are really like, my mama got shoes and socks and T-shirts and iPhones for me, but she going to work. When she at work, I'm at school. She's still at work at night, and I'm at home. What am I doing?
I'm going to tell you what Big John teaches us on Thursday night. Take the mattress out, pour water on it, change the lock, change the lock. They slam the door, take the door off the hinges. There will be no iPhone, no my phone, none of them type phones. There will be no Xbox.
The parent is not even at home.
My parent was gone. Was your parent gone?
My mother worked 2 jobs, had 3 boys.
We was a latchkey kid.
Right. We didn't even call it that.
No.
Because the door was unlocked.
The door was unlocked.
Because we would lose that key.
Right.
So we was the unlocked door key.
Unlocked door kids. Okay.
But so it's different. It's different. And I feel sad because I'm highly insulted about that. And I haven't forgotten about it. And I sent
Does he still have his phone? Then you ain't mad enough.
No, that ain't my kid, nor was it at my house.
Oh, okay.
I've seen this child once since then, but I told him I'm getting Skip and Big John. They gonna.
Yeah, you talking about my little partner?
Yeah,
right.
I told him Skip and John, we have a date. Right. So he think I forgot about it. You can tell how I'm talking. I'm still upset. I done got upset.
Now,
all over
this is an example we want to give y'all that we're gonna take a deep breath. Let it all out, because we was getting amped up. Yeah. I don't want my sister to get amped up.
But making a long story short, I don't want to be angry, but that's how I'm used to getting. So now I'm going to redirect this to make sure that happened 3 weeks ago, but you still haven't been checked the right way because it's unacceptable.
Right.
Yes, it's unacceptable. So Big John and Skip going to have us meeting with him unexpectedly.
That's right. And he going to get a second call.
Right.
Because it
might be his
But
last.
not only me, I have other friends or people I know that they're talking about how disrespectful their kids are, and then the kid gets, the mom or the child start talking, and then the kid gets to crying, then they blow all up, and now the whole house is in an uproar, and then the child is throwing these tantrums. This happened in a lot of homes now.
It is.
Yes,
every
it
color,
is.
every color.
Well, I can contest. Yeah,
these kids, I don't know, and some of them are not slow. Some of them just have some issues, and some don't have some issues. But John, one thing I like John, what he said about if there's no pain and suffering,
Yeah, so the only thing that boys understand is pain and consequences.
Yes.
But he threw in pleasure too. That's what he be thinking.
Yeah.
But pain and consequences
That's
is
a
exactly,
good
and that's exactly what, I could think of growing up, is that my mother would jump over the table. My mother would do the things that my mother had me and my brother with a shoe. She had a shoe in her hand, and I made me start telling, like, Mama, it wasn't me, it was him, you know?
Yeah,
that's the type of mother that I had, and aunties or whatever, that made us straighten up.
That's right.
These children are not straightened up now. You can call the police, call the man on the horse. I don't care.
Right.
But when you say, I'm going to call your mother, I'm going to be like, for what? I didn't do nothing.
That's right.
Why are you going to
That's
call
right.
her? And that's what we're missing nowadays. And I can tell you that 9 out of 10 of the women who are going through things, the man isn't in the home.
I know.
So we have to go back and say, why are these women choosing the men who will not be in the home? Either, and I hate to say it, if they're dead or in jail, but the woman knew that man was that type of man. Some are wrongfully convicted. Some, things happen or whatever, but for the majority.
I knew that both of my husbands was that man.
Right.
Okay. So we got a story to tell. You
Right.
know?
And let me say this real quick, Marcy. One thing too, Skip, that you said about when your mom took the phone and threatened you, I'm going to take that phone, I'm going to take that door off the hinges, you slam it one more time. You know what's really sad? When you don't follow through and they slam that door. That's why there's no consequence.
Because it has to be pain and consequences.
Yeah. You slam the door and lock the door in my face. I've never had a kid do nothing like that to me. And it's like, I cannot get over it. And I'm like, I can't. And I'm not going to get over it till I think that he's checked right, because no man has really checked him yet. And he needs to be checked by a man. And some of the mothers are so timid. And I'm not talking to no one specific, so I don't want to get off the air. And they was talking about me. Yeah. I'm just talking about in general what I've seen. And sometimes the truth does hurt, but I want to say it out of love. We need role models for these young boys. We can't do it,
That's
because what we used to do with our kids, like, as soon as they say something, we popping them in the mouth. You hit one of these 14 and 15-year-olds, they might hit you back.
Right.
And that's real. This ain't no, but I love that
I'm trying to stay off the news, y'all. Okay.
But I love that parent I love that parent that say, if you slam that door one more time, I'm going to take it off the hinges. And when they slam it, that parent take it off. That's where you're going to start seeing some respect.
Yeah.
But if there's no consequences, you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. We're going to be closing shortly. So before we close, Skip, is there anything you want to say that we haven't talked about already?
Well, I just really appreciate you bringing up the topics that you're bringing up. These are needed. This is a needed conversation, and I'm just looking forward to week by week, getting callers to call in and really talking about these topics, because we do, I think Marcy said it earlier, we got to protect ourselves. We got to protect our community, our children. Yes. We got to, we just not just from gentrification, which we talked about, but also from our children going to jail or going to prison. We have to make sure that they're able to go to college if they want to, or go into a trade school and go work on some of these building trades that are going to be here for years. Mm-hmm. So I'm just grateful to have these conversations and glad that you guys are committed to this process. 11-year commitment.
Yes.
So I want to applaud you for that.
And here is our brochure. We could be giving it more to you. We wish you could see it closer up. But we have an Inglewood meeting at our Inglewood office, which is at 1137 East Redondo Boulevard. Is that the church?
No, that's Chuco. So that's not our meeting. That's actually the office.
Oh, that's
But
the
look,
office.
when you hold this up, though, actually there's a guy on here who is an electrician, and he's smiling. After doing 27 years in prison, he is smiling. And that is Little Man. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a blessing.
Yes,
and
it
even
is.
On the back of the brochure, so we'll get this to Felicia next week.
Yeah.
On the back of the brochure is so many people. It's probably like over 100 years of prison time. But the meetings are right here. This one is John's, and all the different meetings on the inside.
Yeah,
of
so
the
we'll
brochure.
have the exact days and time, but we want you to stop into one of our meetings. You will be so blown away. It's nothing like Alcohol Anonymous or none of those. This is something that's so different.
But I am an alcoholic, though.
You're an ex-alcoholic?
My name is Skip, and I'm an alcoholic.
Well, I'm not claiming none of that.
I ain't had a drink in a
You know
while.
what? That's a blessing because when we
Everything in
meet,
moderation.
but when we meet on Thursday, I used to go every night, but now I make it a point to be there on Thursday. But when we go on
You
Thursday,
moved so far.
I know we have, and I want you. I'm going to let Felicia hold these up. We'll get to show you a lot of pictures next week of all these men that's done time
And women.
that's done time, and they came home with a made up mind. I will never go back to prison, and change their life. And we have a special guest that I can't wait for her to come. Is Kelly Dillon. Oh, I love me some Kelly. She'll be on our show when we talk about domestic violence.
Yes. Hi,
Ignoring
Kelly.
the domestic violence. So we're going to give a shout out to Kelly Dillon.
Big Kill
Hey,
Dog.
Kel.
Hello, Kelly. But we're excited. Well, I don't know what day she's going to be here, but she's going to be excited because she said she was going to be committed to coming. And so I just thank you. Marcy, what do you have to say before we get off there? You got to...
I'm just grateful and blessed to be here because, it could be worse. And we're here to create a atmosphere of hope for you guys and to give you us and to give you guys our testimony. And, we all are a wealth of knowledge and we want to share that with you. So thanks for having us.
All right. We're going to tune out now. We're glad you was with us today.
Do I have theme music? Do I have a theme song?
Yeah.
Every superhero should have a theme song.
Yes.
You're a superhero?
Yes, I'm a
Okay.
superhero.
What's going to be your theme song?
There it is.
Hey!
All right. See y'all next
right.
week.
See y'all next
Frankie
week.
Beverly, he gonna be at